Hi everybody. So for today's video, I want to talk about a very important topic, which is the topic of why is it so hard to work out at home? Like, no, really, why is this the case? It is really hard. I am somebody who has been working out for, at this point, 14 years. And I have worked out, I have done all kinds of different exercises. I have run the gamut from being a powerlifter to being an endurance runner to being a bodybuilder to being a gymnast. I have tried all kinds of different training. And at the end of the day, I would say that I find it to be the hardest to get in a workout at home when you're working out at home. And I think that this is not an uncommon situation. I find that this happens with a lot of clients as well. So today I wanted to dig deeper into that topic and really figure out why it is that we all have such a problem working out from home and what we can do about it. As always, do not forget to smash that like button so that we can help all the himbos of the world double in size overnight, and we can all get a little bit more jacked. All right, let's continue. Working out from home is kind of the new norm over the past year, and that is something that I've written quite a lot about. I've also written quite a lot in the past about how it's actually a lot easier to assemble a home gym than a lot of people think. There are certainly an absolute crap ton of exercises that you can do without any exercise equipment at all, just with your body weight and with a bit of inventiveness and maybe a few very minimal pieces of equipment. For many people, that may be sufficient for a long period of time. I myself have been working out for the past year with very minimal equipment. In fact, I work out right here in this very room. So I know very well a lot of the issues that come up when you are working out at home. The cost of a pair of quick change dumbbells and a bench will run you about the cost of what you would pay for a typical gym membership. Now, of course, that can be a little bit different if you live in a major city and the cost of a local gym membership is just so incredibly high for no reason. That's just a thing that happens. So, okay, maybe it's even less than the cost of your local gym membership if you live in a big city. A barbell and squat rack, of course, is going to run you a bit more. Might run you 2, 3, 4 years worth of gym membership fees. But if you have that equipment, you basically never need to pay for a gym membership again, and that saves you so much in the long run. It saves you a lot in terms of sunk cost. It saves you a lot in terms of time spent getting to and from the gym. And another thing that a lot of people don't consider is simply the cost of gas money. If you spend 15 minutes driving each way to the gym every single day, or say 4 times a week, or whatever the case is, over a long period of time, that adds up to a crap ton of gas money. That adds up to days and days of your life wasted just driving to the gym. This also means that when you're working out from home, you can actually do certain things that you can't do if you're used to working out at a gym. Without the significant sunk time cost of getting to the gym, you can actually do things like higher frequency programs, which are doable for serious athletes who have all day to train, but are not so doable for the average person who, of course, has a job, has a life, has all kinds of other things going on, and as a result, simply cannot do a high frequency kind of program. However, of course, if you have the equipment at home, it's right there. It takes you just a few minutes to maybe change into some gym clothes and start working out. And the end result, of course, is that you can actually do that kinds of high frequency training without needing to have it take over your entire life. So in short, working out from home has a lot of significant advantages. But at the same time, working out from home presents us with a lot of conundrums, problems, and difficulties as well. So probably the biggest and most obvious one, even if it's something that people really don't consider very much or consider as much as they should, is that the gym space is very obviously delineated from the home space. And what I mean is, for example, when you have a bedroom, ideally you want that to be a room that you just go to sleep in because that's the purpose of it. You just want to have a bed, and the thing that your bed is there for is sleeping in. You don't want to have that turn into a desk or an office space or so on, because then you're sort of crossing the wires in your brain. It gets easier to sort of mix those two things up and get distracted. Likewise, when you go to the gym, you go to the gym to work out. You're not there to have fun. You're not there to meet friends. I mean, yeah, sure, you do make friends. You do end up chatting to folks that you meet there. But it's primarily a space that is just for working out. And so subconsciously all the time when you go to the gym, what you are doing at the gym is you are thinking to yourself, I want to finish this workout. I want to be focused on this workout so I can finish it quickly so that I don't have to waste more time here. I can get out of the gym, I can go home, and I can move on with my life. So there's a very clear delineation between that gym space and your home space And that helps keep you focused. That helps keep you on track. That helps keep you from getting too distracted because you can focus on that because that's literally all there is to do at the gym. In contrast, when you're working out at home, it is so much more easy to get distracted or to sort of lift mindlessly. And I'll talk about that in a second. When you're at home, you've got all kinds of other stimuli. So for example, again, I work out right here. I work out right here in this office. And that means that I have my computer right here. I have my kids. I have so many other things that can basically break in and distract me, and that can potentially pry me away from my workout. There are all kinds of other stimuli going on, and that means that this space that I am working out in is not very well delineated from all the other things that I have going on in my life that can potentially break in and distract me. And as a result, that inevitably means that I will get distracted, that I will start doing other things, and that's going to take away from the time that I'm supposed to be spending working out. Lifting mindlessly is another problem. So what tends to happen is that when you have, for example, very high rep sets, you tend to start to kind of drift a little bit. If you're doing something where it's like, hey, I'm doing like 1 to 5 reps, and you're just focusing on doing the movement, then you get that over pretty quickly, it's done, that's it. But when you've got, say, 20 reps, and you're kind of counting in your head, and you're kind of going, 5, 6, 7, 8, at a certain point your mind starts to wander. It is harder to stay focused. It is easy to forget how many reps you've done. It's easy to just kind of let your form get a little bit worse. It's easy to maybe not focus on getting a full range of motion or hitting full depth on all of the exercises that you want to be. That is because you are getting a little bit more distracted. And that kind of mindless lifting, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it can detract from your results in the long run, especially if it is keeping you from hitting, again, full range of motion on your exercises, or it is causing you to, again, miscount your reps and things like that. I find that this is a huge problem for me working out from home. I am constantly a lot sloppier on my work when working out from home, simply because I just am not able to focus. I do, of course, have other stuff going on, and that means that, I'm just not going to be able to focus. I'm not going to be able to stay on track, and, I'm kind of rushing through sets in a way that means I'm not really focusing on each individual rep the way that I should be mentally. Another very significant problem that I encounter quite a lot is that when I am working out from home, it gets very easy to let my rest periods get away from me. And what that means is that when, say, I'm doing some sets of push-ups, and I'm saying, okay, I'm doing like 3 to 5 minutes rest in between, something like that, just okay, a little bit longer on the rest period, just kind of going by feel, not really setting any, very strict numbers or anything like that. That tends to work out well in a gym because I'm, sitting at the gym waiting to do my next set. I don't have any distractions. When I'm at home, I might be playing some video games on the computer. I might be answering some emails. I might be doing tons of other things. And that means that those 3 to 5 minute rests can often turn into 5 to 10 minute rests. And that means suddenly a workout that's supposed to take me a couple hours will take me all day, simply because every single set takes a lot longer than it should because I'm not able to focus on keeping my rest periods as strict as I should. And that's not a bad thing in terms of results, but it is a bad thing in terms of just being a little bit more mentally exhausted. When a workout is taking all day, that feels like garbage. I've had days where I was so distracted that it took me maybe 6 hours to get a full workout in simply because I had so many other things going on and I had such long rest periods. And of course, I just wasn't able to focus on actually getting my work done. So of course, the question is, how can we work around these problems? How can we resolve these problems? How can we get better workouts from home, knowing again that we have these sort of standard drawbacks? How can we work around them? So the first is that it helps to keep your workout space as delineated from your other spaces as possible. This may not be very doable for everybody, simply based on kind of where you're living, the amount of space you have available, and so on. But if you have extra space, it helps to make a very dedicated workout space that is located far enough away from your other kinds of spaces, office space, bedroom space, kitchen space, etc., so that you don't have as many distractions, so that there is more delineation between your workout space and all your other spaces. It can help to do something like set up your garage to be exclusively dedicated to workout equipment. It can help to do something like, hey, maybe you've got a little bit of backyard space, you can set it up out back where you're outside of the house, and that means you have fewer of those stimuli inside that could potentially distract you. Another thing, of course, that I am very guilty of breaking all the time is try to avoid doing things that are too distracting between your sets. Again, I am working out right here. This is the space that works out for me. And that means that I have all this distraction right here in the form of this computer. And that means that then things can easily get away from me. I know that that's not ideal, but that's just kind of the way that it is. I have to work around that myself. But if you also do very mentally demanding tasks in between your workouts, that can lead to, again, that kind of distracted, mindless lifting where you're simply not focusing as much on your individual reps as you should be, and things can get sloppy and your results can suffer a little bit because of it. Another thing that I found that helps a lot is to set timers to cue yourself. So this is not something that I typically need when I am working out in a gym because, again, it just happens kind of intuitively. I'm just always itching to start my next set and so on. However, when I am more distracted by other things right here, what I tend to do is I set myself timers so that I always have that stimulus to remind me when I need to go back to my next set. So typically I will set myself a timer on my phone, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And when that timer goes off, then I know, okay, I've got to move on to my next set. And I usually leave that timer running so it keeps bothering me, it keeps annoying me until I actually do it. Because I need that stimulus. I need that little kick to get myself back in action. It also helps to plan aside time in your calendar, in your schedule, to actually set aside time for working out, because otherwise what tends to happen is that when we're working out from home, we always think, okay, I can do it whenever I want, and we don't really set aside time for it, and the end result is that we just end up, our time gets sucked up by all kinds of other things, and then we simply do not get to it. It just doesn't, it doesn't fit in. Conversely, if you have some time already set aside, that makes it way easier to get in because you have already planned for it. It's already set aside. You already know that you've got that time block there. And it also helps to set an alarm to go off to remind yourself that it's time to work out, because otherwise it can be easy to forget. The use of these timers and alarms can just go a very long way towards making sure that you don't get too distracted and that you, again, stay on the right track. Another thing is that you can simply have a little bit of fun with it. When you are working out at a commercial gym, you don't have the ability to manage your environment, to manage your space the same way that you do when you're at home. If you've got some dedicated space to work out in, have some fun, embellish it however you want. Play the kind of music that you like, put up some posters, whatever the case is, make it a space that is especially yours, because that goes a long way towards making you excited to work out and really enjoying your workouts. And lastly, I would say that family can be a huge, huge distraction, but at the same time, they can also be a huge source of motivation and support. When you have family members who know about your efforts, they can often be a huge, huge help in terms of keeping you on track, the same way that timers can be a good stimulus to remind you to work out. You can say, for example, talk to a partner, talk to a family member about plans that you have for working out this week, and you can say, hey, please remind me to do my workout at X time, or hey, please yell at me if I don't do this thing when I'm supposed to. Family members can be a huge, huge, huge stimulus that will be very supportive, give you a lot of motivation to keep you on track and to keep you accountable. And in a way that, for example, you often have to pay a personal trainer to keep you accountable, you can very often get that kind of added stimulus for free simply by asking some family members to give you that stimulus instead. So I hope that this video has been helpful to people. As always, do not hesitate to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see in future videos. Call me an idiot, disagree with me. I'd love to hear some feedback from you, whatever the case is. As always, have a great week, and I will talk to you all next week. Have a good one.